Introduction to AeroTrack. This video is recommended for all first-time users. This video will provide you, the user, with an introduction on how to navigate through the AeroTrack software application and make use of its features. In doing so, we will explore some of the more commonly used and useful screens and their related functions. Login. Let's start with logging in. Bring up the AeroTrack login screen by launching the application. At the top of the login screen will be the version number of the client. This is useful to know if you are one of the users responsible for logging support queries to Tracware. All users in the business should be on the same version. The company field indicates the database you are about to log into. This is typically the last database you logged into. AeroTrack allows you to have multiple company databases. If you wish to switch companies, click the Change Company button and a list of all the available company databases will appear on the right. All AeroTrack users will have at least two databases, one being the live primary company database, the other being a test or training company. To select the database, either double-click on the name or highlight it and click Select. The name field shows a drop-down list of all the AeroTrack users. Select your name in the list. If you can't find your name, you should contact your local system administrator to ensure they have given you access. Enter your password to log in. AeroTrack will allow a maximum of 3 incorrect entries, then the login screen will close. It doesn't lock you out, you will simply need to relaunch AeroTrack from the desktop and try again. In this case, I've logged into the test company. It's easy to tell you're in the test company environment because at the top of the menu it says Test Company and the screens are in red. The test company is often based on a copy of your live data which was taken at a certain point in time in the past, so the data, although familiar, may be out of date. If you need to work on an up-to-date version of the test company, you should contact your local system administrator. If you are finished using the database, you can exit using the Quit function, which will log you out of AeroTrack and close down the application. If you need to switch to another company database, you can click the Log Off button. This will log you out of that database and take you back to the login screen where you can select another database. When you log into AeroTrack, you are taken to the primary application where most of the day-to-day activity is processed. On the left of the screen is the main menu, a typical Windows Navigator style list of all the modules you have access to. If you do not have access to a module or screen, it will not be visible in the menu. If the screen you are trying to access is not visible, you should consult your local system administrator. At the top of the menu is the company name. Clicking the company name will refresh the database. This is useful if you have just been granted access to a new screen. It means you don't have to log out. To expand the menu, a single click is all that is required. As the lists get longer, a scroll bar appears on the right. Clicking the company name will roll up the main menu to keep things tidy. Administrator. Immediately below the company name is a link to the Administrator module. AeroTrack comes in two halves. As I said earlier, when you log in, you are taken to the application where the majority of day-to-day activities are carried out. The Administrator module is a separate integrated application where administrative and more specialized functions are carried out. Click on the Administrator link and the Administrator module will open. It has a similar menu structure to the main application. You can switch between the two applications using the links at the top. Clicking here will take you back to AeroTrack and vice versa. You should be able to see both applications open in the Windows menu bar and select the app that you want. Favorites. At the foot of the main menu is a Favorites box. This is available in both the main application and the Administrator module. These favorites are specific to you. To add a screen to the Favorites section, select the screen in question using the cursor. Click and hold, don't release, then drag and drop the screen into the Favorites box below. A plus symbol indicates it will be added. You can remove screens from the favourite. Click and hold them and then just release anywhere outside of the Favorites box. Status board. Immediately to the right of the main menu is the menu background, which typically contains images specific to your company, such as your logo. On here, you can see a link to the Tracware website, and in the bottom left is a link to a feature called the Status Board. Click the link to open the Status Board. The Status Board is a very useful feature that displays some of the most critical reports in AeroTrack in a graphical user interface that then allows the user to perform some kind of associated process linked to that screen, such as raising a purchase order or a GRN. If you log out or quit from AeroTrack, the status board will automatically close. If you want the status board to remain open, then select an initial page to open here on the Options tab. When you next log in, the status board will already be open and will default to this tab. This Options tab also allows you to select and display the tabs you have access to. If you do not have access, the tick box will be greyed out. Some screens have an extensive amount of information, so you can expand the screen to view the data by clicking, holding, and stretching the screen out. Clicking in the headers of each column will sort the data alphanumerically from A to Z or Z to A. This is the same in all AeroTrack screens. One feature that is unique to the status board is that you can move columns around to suit you. They will stay in that position. This is a feature that is only available on the status board and it is specific to you. It doesn't affect the status board of any other user. Whenever you see data in a list view like this anywhere in AeroTrack, you can export the data into Microsoft Excel by highlighting the top line and pressing the Ctrl and the letter E on the keyboard together. Microsoft Excel will open a pre-formatted spreadsheet with column headers that mirror the screen. If you wish to reset the size and position of any AeroTrack window, including the main menu and status board, click the Reset Window button on the Options tab. You can also hide the status board if you wish. Screen navigation. You can open a screen from the main menu or the Favorites box with a single click. The screen opens in front of Main Menu. You can move it around, resize it, or expand it to fit the size of your window by using the Maximize feature. This does not increase the size of the fields or the font, but it does allow you to view more of the data in a list view. Most of the AeroTrack screens are formatted in exactly the same way. At the top left of the screen will be a drop-down combo box. This will display all open records in a sequential list, be they purchase order numbers, customers, suppliers, projects, and so on. You can scroll down the list or type in exactly what you're looking for, whichever is quickest. There is nearly always a prefix in front of the number to help identify what screen or process the number relates to. Sometimes you can refine the search by using options such as the type field here or the all field, which will then include all closed orders in the drop-down. If you type in a valid record, whether live or closed, AeroTrack should return the record. On many screens we have a search function, indicated by this question mark box. If you don't know exactly what you're searching for, this field can help. For example, the field searches on PO numbers, suppliers, and so on. If this doesn't return the record that you're looking for, try using the wildcard search by putting an asterisk in front of the word or number and clicking Find. AeroTrack will then search where that appears in any part of the search data. By typing in AeroTrack is now returning supplier names which contain the letters A and T together. So long as you know part of the supplier or customer name, or perhaps part of a part number or part description when searching parts, AeroTrack should return you the data you are looking for. Amongst other things, software is an effective form of communication where information is shared. There are many places to store comments and additional notes, the most common of which are these memo pads. They are like post-it notes that are linked to that particular record. Simply type in some text and click Add Memo. The box then displays a red outline to reflect that there is a note. In a similar vein, many AeroTrack screens have a linked document feature that allows for any kind of document to be attached to a specific record. These paths can be predefined to help speed up the process of linking the document. The path should be to a shared folder, which means that everyone with access to this screen should be able to preview any associated document. There is frequently a lot of information on an AeroTrack screen, so we help manage the data by separating it into bite-sized chunks using these tabs. The tabs will usually have a function which is specific to a particular role or purpose. You may occasionally find that you only have permission to view a tab and not the ability to edit it. As with the status board, you can sort data alphanumerically by clicking in the column header, and data can be exported using the Ctrl and E function, but you cannot move the columns. Editing or editing a record can nearly always be found at the bottom left of the screen. Clicking this will open up the fields, allowing you to enter relevant data. AeroTrack will not let you save a record if any mandatory fields have not been filled in. AeroTrack will tell you what they are and will generally take you to them. When editing a document, AeroTrack will frequently give you access to a notes library, which is available wherever you see this asterisk symbol. This allows to select records from a bank of common notes to help save time. The save or cancel and exit functions are nearly always at the top right of the screen. To save a record, click the Save or Cancel button and you'll be given 3 options. To save, choose Yes. If you realise you wish to add some additional information before you save and want to return back to the document to edit it further, click No and carry on adding data. Clicking Cancel should be used with a little caution, as it will cancel all the information you have entered and take you back to where you were before you either clicked Add or Edit. Also at the bottom of the screen are the Close and Cancel options. If you have created a record by mistake, you can cancel it here. You can also manually close the record, but there are several auto-close functions which will do this for you. ErrorTrack will not auto-close any record unless it is fully complete, so don't worry about closing out things that are still in progress. Also, ErrorTrack will generally allow you to reopen a document if it was closed in error. ErrorTrack will sometimes offer you a clone function, which allows you to create an exact copy of the document you selected, subject to some specific differences. At the bottom right of the screen, you will find the option to print the document, which is typically formatted to fit standard A4 or US letter-sized paper. In some instances, there is an option to email the document. This will build an email with a PDF attachment for you to send based on the contact name associated with the document. Please note, ErrorTrack does not automatically send emails, it just builds them, so you can edit and send them at your own discretion. Most screens offer a range of shortcuts, which can usually be found at the top right of the screen, or occasionally along the bottom. Click on the shortcut and ErrorTrack will open the screen in front of the one you were looking at. You can drag the screen out of the way and switch between the two. Many screens also include a drill down function, so if you just double click on a line, it will take you to a specific record and a different screen. Reports. ErrorTrack offers a wide range of reports as standard, which can be accessed from the report menu. They are all segregated by the various modules, and there are descriptions at the bottom as to what they do. To select a record, click once. It's best not to double click, as this will cause the report to auto run, which may take a long time. Because there are so many, you can create your own favourites by using the Add to Favourites button. ErrorTrack will then default opening this Favourites tab when you next come into Reports. Reports can be removed from favourites at any time. On the right of the Reports menu is a series of filters that allow you to specify in more detail what you are looking to report on. Match specific data enables you to choose data directly from the database. Select a subject you wish to interrogate and the data becomes available in the drop-down box below. An equal symbol will appear in the adjacent field by default, but you can also choose other parentheses, including not. You can filter the report by multiple filters, which occasionally might include the option to choose yes or no. You can also choose nothing as a search option. Use the clear button to remove any filters. If you're struggling to find particular data, try using the search function, which includes the wildcard option, so that if you know part of what you're looking for, it should return you some data. Finally, you can filter using the From and To tab to give you data that is specific to a particular range, such as dates, numbers, financial periods, and so on. There are some other fairly general filter options below too. Reports can be previewed and printed as required. PDF copies can be emailed. They can also be exported into a CSV file which can then be opened in Excel. Exporting will give you all the data on the printed report, plus all the data related to the filters available for that report. The ribbon. One final additional feature of ErrorTrack is the ribbon. This is a standard Microsoft Office feature that we have utilised. The way it is accessed will vary slightly depending on the version of Office you are using, but the features are standard. These are the ability to change your password by entering your existing password and then entering a new one, confirming, and then saving. You can access the request system if your company is using this feature. You can also see and add to the notes library from here, and also the reports menu, which is sometimes easier than navigating to it from the main menu. Finally, we have provided access to online help through the ribbon by clicking on the help icon. If your company has put together any procedural documents or guides, these will also be available here. If you click on online help, this will take you to the Tracware online help support site. In here you can find the full change history of ErrorTrack and some useful guides in the Using the System section. Thank you for listening, and thank you for using ErrorTrack.